Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that is just deeply frustrating for so many of us. Why you might be hitting an absolute brick wall with your weight loss, despite putting in all the hard work. We are going to cut right through the deafening noise of fad diets, those quick fixes, and all the crazy social media trends to give you the grounded, scientific reality. We're looking at the 5 true pillars of modern fat loss.
It's literally maddening, isn't it? You feel like you're doing everything right. You're sweating it out, you're trying your best to eat well, but the scale, it just absolutely refuses to budge and your body composition just isn't changing. I want to validate that frustration right out of the gate. Putting in all that effort and not seeing results is totally exhausting. But here's the reality check. If you're putting in the work and you aren't losing fat in 2026, you're almost certainly making one of 5 specific and, honestly, very common mistakes.
Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the core fat loss frustration, followed by our 5 pillars. Pillar 1 is calorie deficit. Pillar 2 is prioritize protein. Pillar 3 is quality sleep. Pillar 4 is daily movement. And Pillar 5 is weight training.
Starting with Section 1, the fat loss frustration. Let's look at the common trap that so many dedicated people fall right into.
This is the myth of clean eating as some sort of magic bullet. We naturally assume that just eating healthy whole foods is a guaranteed ticket to fat loss. But the truth is, even the healthiest foods on the planet will cause weight gain if you eat way too much of them. Avocados, almonds, olive oil. These are incredibly nutritious for sure, but they are also incredibly energy dense. Completely eliminating quote-unquote bad foods just doesn't work if you totally ignore your portions. At the end of the day, it all comes down to energy balance.
Moving right along to Section 2, Pillar 1, calorie deficit. This right here is the absolute first rule of fat loss. We hear this term thrown around all the time, right? But let's break down what's actually happening. A calorie deficit happens when your body simply doesn't get enough energy from the food you're eating to sustain its normal daily functions. But since it still desperately needs that energy to keep your heart beating, your lungs breathing, and your muscles moving, it's literally forced to look elsewhere. It turns to its internal reserves, burning stored body fat to make up the difference. It's actually super empowering to understand this, because without this specific biological mechanism, nothing else you try is going to work effectively.
Now, the specific math behind a sustainable approach might actually surprise you. You do not need to starve yourself. Actually, scratch that. You absolutely shouldn't. To put it into perspective, if your body needs, say, 1,700 calories a day to maintain its current weight, you should just aim for a moderate daily deficit of 300 to 500 calories. That moderate drop is the sweet spot. It triggers sustainable fat loss without completely crashing your energy levels or making you feel miserable all day.
All right, Section 3, Pillar 2, prioritize protein. Let's talk about how you protect your muscle.
Okay, so when you're in a calorie deficit, your body is scrambling for energy, right? And there's a huge risk that it's going to start burning your hard-earned muscle tissue right along with your fat. We absolutely do not want that. Protein steps in as this brilliant protector of your muscle mass during weight loss. But that's not its only superpower. It actually takes a long time to digest. Because of this, it keeps you fuller for significantly longer, which effectively shuts down those nagging hunger cravings that derail so many of us. Honestly, it's your absolute best friend when you're eating in a deficit.
So the crucial point here is actually hitting your daily target. The research tells us we should be aiming for about 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight every single day. Seriously, if you aren't tracking your protein, start tomorrow. You're going to be amazed at how much easier it makes the entire fat loss process.
Section 4 brings us to Pillar 3, quality sleep. Let's talk about getting proper rest for fat loss.
There are these hidden hormonal saboteurs that go into overdrive when you skimp on sleep. Lack of sleep aggressively spikes your cortisol, that's your stress hormone, which can literally slow your metabolism and force your body to stubbornly hold on to fat. At the exact same time, sleep deprivation cranks up ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone. Think about it. When you're exhausted, you're not craving a fresh salad, right? No way. You crave quick energy, usually in the form of sugar and simple carbs. Poor sleep forces your body to fight against you, whereas getting a solid 7 to 8 hours supports a healthy hormone balance that makes fat loss so much easier.
Section 5 now. Pillar 4, daily movement. It is time to look way beyond just the gym.
Let me be incredibly clear about this. A punishing, sweaty 1-hour gym session absolutely does not make up for sitting in a chair for the other 23 hours of your day. It just doesn't. Your daily non-exercise movement plays a massive role in fat loss, and the solution here is wonderfully simple. Just walk. Aiming for 7,000 to 10,000 steps per day dramatically increases your total daily calorie burn. It's low impact, it reduces stress, and it makes a massive compounding difference over time without needing heavy physical recovery.
Finally, Section 6. Pillar 5 is weight training. It is time to build the engine.
For decades, we were basically told that to lose fat, you had to spend hours torturing yourself on a treadmill. But that's only half the story. A lot of folks think fat loss is strictly about cardio, but weight training is just as important, if not more so, when it comes to actually transforming the shape and composition of your body. Let's walk through this, because it's an incredibly empowering chain reaction. Step 1, you lift weights to preserve the muscle you already have while eating in that calorie deficit. Step 2, over time, you actually build more total muscle mass. Step 3 is where the real magic happens. Muscle is a highly metabolically active tissue, so the more muscle you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate becomes. Which leads us to step 4, your body literally burns more calories around the clock, even when you're just chilling on the couch or fast asleep in bed. Weight training builds the engine that burns the fat. So, there you have it. The noise is totally gone, you don't need a fad diet, and there is no magic pill. You just need a calorie deficit, adequate protein, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, 7,000 to 10,000 daily steps, and regular weight training. These 5 pillars are your reliable, totally unshakable foundation for modern fat loss. And best of all, they are entirely within your control. So, I'm going to leave you with this question today. Looking at these 5 pillars, which one is the weakest link in your current routine, and which pillar will you start building first? Think about it, make a plan, and take action. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building that foundation.